भाग भाग 1 पेज 15। हिंदी में करेंगे। वे जो है अरहंत भगवान सम्यक संबुद्ध, भगवान के द्वारा अच्छी तरह समझाया गया धम्म, धम्म के मार्ग को अच्छी तरह प्रतिपादित करने वाले भगवान के श्रावक संग, उन भगवान बुद्ध धम्म और संघ की हम यथोचित सत्कार से पूजा करते हैं। हमारा सौभाग्य कि भगवान को महान निर्वाण की प्राप्ति के बाद भी आगे आने वाली पीढ़ी पर अनुकंपा थी। आदर पूर्वक दी गई यह तुच्छ भेंट कृपया स्वीकार करें। हमारे दीर्घकालिक हित और सुख के लिए अरहंत भगवान सम्यक संबुद्ध, उन भगवान बुद्ध का मैं अभिवादन करता हूँ। भगवान के द्वारा अच्छी तरह समझाया गया धम्म, उस धम्म को मैं नमन करता हूँ। भगवान के श्रावक संघ, जिन्होंने मार्ग को अच्छी तरह प्रतिपादित किया, उस संघ को मैं नमन करता हूँ। आइए हम भगवान बुद्ध की प्रारंभिक वंदना करें। नमस्कार उन्हें जो है अरहंत भगवान सम्यक संबुद्ध। नमस्कार उन्हें जो है अरहंत भगवान सम्यक संबुद्ध। नमस्कार उन्हें जो है अरहंत भगवान सम्यक संबुद्ध। 3 बार नमन। पेज 46। आर्य अष्टांगिक मार्ग का पाठ सिर्फ पाली में करेंगे। ह्यं आर्य मग्ग पाठं भनामसे, अयमेव आर्यो अष्टांगिको मग्गो सेयतीदं सम्मादिट्ठि सम्मासंकप्पो सम्मावाचो सम्माकम्मन्तो सम्माजीवो सम्मावायामो सम्मासति सम्मासमाधि। कथमा च भिक्खवे सम्मादिट्ठि ยังโคภิกขเวดุเคญาณังดุกขสมุทัยญาณังดุกขนิโรธญาณังดิทุกขนิโรธกามินิยาปฏิปดายญาณังอายังวุจติภิกขเวสัมมาทิฏฐิกัตโมชภิกขเวสัมมาสังกัปโปเนคัมมะสังกัปโปอัพยาปาดสังกัปโปอวิหิงสาสังกัปโปอายังวุจติภิกขเวสัมมาสังกัปโปกัตมาจภิกขเวสัมมาวาจามุสาวาทาเวรมณีปิสุนายวาจาเวรมณีปารุสาวาจาเวรมณีสัมภปลาภาเวรมณีอายังวุจติภิกขเวสัมมาวาจากัตโมชภิกขเวสัมมากัมมันโตปานาติปาตาเวรมณีอดินนาดานาเวรมณีกาเมสุมิจฉาจาราเวรมณีอายังวุจติภิกขเวสัมมากัมมันโตกัตโมชภิกขเวสัมมาจีโวอิทาภิกขเวอริยสาวกมิจฉาอาจีวังปะหายสัมมาจีเวนะจีวิตังกัปเปติอายังวุจติภิกขเวสัมมาจีโวกัตโมชภิกขเวสัมมาวายโมอิทาภิกขเวภิกขุอนุปปันนานัมปะปะกานังอกุศลานังธัมมานังอนุปาดายะฉันทังเจเนติวายมติวิริยังอารัพพติจิตตัมปกันหาติปดาหติอุปันนานัมปะปะกานังอกุศลานังธัมมานังปะหานายะฉันทังเจเนติวายมติวิริยังอารัพพติจิตตัมปกันหาติปดาหติอนุปันนานังกุศลานังธัมมานังอุปาดายะฉันทังเจเนติวายมติวิริยังอารัพพติจิตตัมปกันหาติปดาหติอุปันนานังกุศลานังธัมมานังทิฏฐิยาอสัมโมสายาพิโยภาวายาเวปุลายาภาวนายาปาริปุริยาฉันทันจเนติวายมติวิริยังอารัพพติจิตตังปกันหาติปดาหติอายังวุจติภิกขเวสัมมาวายโมกัตมาจภิกขเวสัมมาสติอิทาภิกขเวภิกขุกายเยกายนุปัสสิวิหารติอัตตาปิสัมปจาโนสติมาวิเนยโลเกอภิจจาโทมนัสสังเวดนาสุเวดนานุปัสสิวิหารติอัตตาปิสัมปจาโนสติมาวิเนยโลเกอภิจจาโทมนัสสังจิตเตจิตตานุปัสสิวิหารติ आतापि सम्पजानो सतिमा विनेय लोके अभिज्ञाधो मनसा धम्मेषु धम्मानुपस्सि विहरति आतापि सम्पजानो सतिमां विनेय लोके अभिज्ञाधो मनसा अयं उच्यते भिक्खवे सम्मासते कथमोच भिक्खवे सम्मा समाधि इध भिक्खवे भिक्खु विविच्य कामे हि विविच्य कुशले हि धम्मे हि सवित्तकं सविचारं विवेकजं पीति सुखं पठमं ज्ञानम् उपसम्पज्जा विहरति वितक्क विचारण उपसमा अज्जतं सम्पसादनं चेतसो एकोधिभावं वितकं अविचारं समाधिजं पीति सुखं तुतीयं ज्ञानम् उपसम्पज्जा विहरति पीतिया च विरागा उपेक्षको च विहरति सतो च सम्पजानो सुखं च कायेन पटिसंवेदेति यं तं अरियाचिखन्ति उपेक्षको सतिमा सुखविहारीति तत्यं ज्ञानम् उपसम्पजा विहरति सुखस्य च पहाना दुःखस्य च पहाना पुब्बेव सोमनस्य दोमनस्सानं अतङ्गमा अदुःखं असुखं उपेक्षा सति परिशुद्धिं चतुर्थं ज्ञानम् उपसम्पजा विहरति अयं उच्यते भिक्खवे सम्मा समाधि अयमेव अरियो अट्ठङ्गिको मग्गो Page 75. पाली और हिंदी एक पैराग्राफ वन्दनयं सब्बपतिदानगाथायो भनामसे पुण्यसिदानि कतस्यानन्यानि कथानि मे ते सञ्च भागिनो हन्तु सतानन्तापमानका जो भी पुण्य मैंने आज किए हैं या जो भी अन्य पुण्य किए हैं उन सब के भागीदार अनंत असीम प्राणी हो ये प्रिया गुणवंता च मह्यं माता पिता दयो दीर्घा में चापया दीर्घा मज्जतवेरिनो वे मेरे गुणवान प्रियजन मेरे दयालु माता पिता अन्य तटस्थ अथवा वैरी मैंने देखे हो या नहीं देखे हो सथा तिष्ठन्ति लोकस्मिन् ते भूमा चतुर्योनिका पञ्चेकचतुर्वोकार संसरन्ता भवा भवे वे प्राणी जो इस लोक में हो, 3 लोकों की 4 योनियों में हो, 5 एक अथवा 4 स्कंद वाले भव संसरण करने वाले हो, ज्ञातं ये प्रतिदानं मे अनुमोदन्तु ते स्वयं, ये चिमं न प्रजानन्ति देवा ते संनिवेदयुम्। जो मेरे इस प्रतिदान को जानते हैं, वे उसकी अनुमोदन करें, और जो इसके बारे में अनुभिज्ञ है, देवता उन्हें इसके जानकारी दो। मय्याधीनान पुण्यानां अनुमोदना हेतुना सबे सत्ता सदा हुन्तु अवेरा सुखजीविनो, खेमपदं च पापुन्तु ते सिझतं शुभा। मेरे इस पुण्यदान के अनुमोदन से सभी प्राणी सदा निर्वैर हो, सुखी हो, शांति का पद प्राप्त करें, उनकी सभी शुभेच्छा पूर्ण हो।
Okay, so we'll continue where we left off on page 348. And it just ties into what we've been reading before, the hindrances. Physical pain is something that we can't escape. So let's see what Ajahn Chah and Tan Ajahn Jayasara has to say. Sometimes you may break out in a sweat, big beads as large as corn kernels rolling down your chest. But when you've passed through painful feeling once, then you will know all about it. Keep working at it. Don't push yourself too much, but keep steadily practicing. Physical discomfort arising during sitting meditation can range from a dull ache to cramps to agonizing pains. As the discomfort is dependent upon the meditator's choice of posture, he or she has the power to bring it to an end by moving. The question arises as to whether the meditator in pain should change posture, and if so, at which point. Longpo usual advice was that meditators should not move out of a reactivity bred from fear or anxiety. At first, they should attempt to turn attention from the pain by repeatedly returning to the meditation object. If that became impossible, meditators should take the physical sensation of pain itself as their meditation object. In the case that mindfulness was still not strong enough to deal with the pain, then the meditator should change posture. Longpo cautioned his disciples, given to pushing the limits of their endurance, to ensure that their enthusiasm was always governed by wisdom. Too much willful endurance of physical pain in meditation by a beginner could gradually lead to a sense of dreariness, an aversion to practice, or in extreme cases, a visit to the doctor. On some occasions, Longpo urged disciples to persevere right through the dark tunnel of painful feeling and emerge on the other side. Meditators who can endure pain to the point at which it reaches a crescendo and then dissolves, experience a great rapture and enter a state of deep calm. Having gone beyond painful feeling in this way, meditators' fear of pain and thus of death is usually much diminished. Even more importantly, the natural separation of the physical the natural separation of physical feeling of pain and the awareness of it provides a profound understanding of the impersonality of feeling. The realization of how much of what was assumed to be physical pain is, in fact, the instinctive emotional reaction to the pain, and that it can be released through mindfulness, can be the grounds for a significant breakthrough in practice. Right approach. In its most elevated form, Panya manifests as the penetrative insight into things as they are, which eliminates the defilements generating suffering and constitutes the culmination of the Buddha's path to liberation. But the same training which achieves its consummation through wisdom also begins with wisdom. At this initial stage, it is referred to as mundane right view. Its most important feature is a conviction in the law of karma and the human capacity for liberation through practice of the Eightfold Path. Longpo devoted a great deal of time to correcting the misguided views and false assumptions that could lead meditators astray. Time and again, he sought to clarify the principles of right view, which he called the cool place where all heat and agitation cease. One persistent wrong view involved in a belief that the casual process leading to liberation could be bypassed by a means of a certain technique or skillful means. Longpo's insistence on khanti, or patience, as the fundamental virtue in practice of the Buddha's path meant he gave short shrift to people impatient for results. When a lay meditator asked him for a shortcut, he replied, "If that's what you want, you might as well just forget about the whole thing." On another occasion, he said, "If the causes are insufficient, the results will fail to appear. It's natural. For liberation to take place, you must be patient. Patience is the leading principle in practice." Speaking to a group of lay meditators, he said, "Meditating in order to realize lucid calm is not the same as pressing a switch and expecting everything to be immediately flooded with light. Putting forth effort in meditation is like writing out a sentence. You can't omit a single one of its words or phrases. All dhammas arise from causes. Results will only cease when their causes do. You must keep steadily doing it, steadily practicing. You're not going to attain or see anything in 1 or 2 days. You must try to put forth a constant effort. You can't comprehend this through someone else's words. You have to discover it for yourself. It's not how much you meditate. You can do just a little, but do it every day. and practicing walking meditation every day as well. Irrespective of whether you do a lot or a little, do it every day. Be sparing with your speech and watch your mind the whole time. Keep refuting the perception of permanence in whatever arises in your mind. Whether pleasurable or painful, nothing lasts, it's all deceptive. How could it fail to be difficult to train the mind, he would say, when people had neglected to do so all their life up to that time, and probably for many lifetimes previously? The army of Dharma was still vastly outnumbered by the army of defilements. It would take time to make the contest more equal. Rather than continually looking forward to a desired goal, like a child in a car asking again and again how much longer before they arrived, meditators were encouraged to proceed steadily along their chosen path of practice with attention to the quality of the effort that they were making moment by moment. Meditators should trust that when causes were right, results would inevitably appear. The Buddha taught us to move forward, not too slowly and not too fast, but to make the mind just right. There's no need to get worked up about it all. If you are, then you should reflect that practice is like planting a tree. You dig a hole and place the tree in it. After that, it's your job to fill in the earth, to put fertilizer on it, to water the tree and to protect it from pests. That's your duty. It's what orchards owners have to do. But whether the tree grows fast or slow, it's its own business. It's nothing to do with you. If you don't know the limits of your own responsibilities, you'll end up trying to do the work of a tree and you'll suffer. All you have to do is see to the fertilizer, the watering, and keeping the insects away. The speed of growth of the tree is the tree's business. If you know what is your responsibility and what is not, then your meditation will be smooth and relaxed, not stressed and fretful. When your sitting is calm, then watch the calmness. When it's not calm, then watch that. If there's calm, there's calm. If there's not, there's not. You mustn't let yourself suffer if your mind's not calm. It's a mistake to rejoice when your mind is calm, or to mope when it's not. Would you let yourself suffer about the tree? About the sunshine or the rain? Things are what they are, and if you understand that, your meditation will go well. So keep traveling along the path, keep practicing, keep attending to your duties, and meditating at the appropriate times. As for what you will get from it, what you attain, what calmness you achieve, that will depend on the potency of the virtue you have accumulated. Just as the orchard owner, who knows the extent of his responsibilities towards the trees, keep in a good humor. So when the practitioner understands his duties in his practice, then just rightness establishes itself naturally. While Long Po saw how important it was for his disciples to acquire a firm foundation of knowledge of the Buddha's teaching, he also warned against the detrimental effect of too much or unwise study. There are learned teachers who write about first absorption, jhana, second absorption, third absorption, fourth absorption, and so on. But if the mind gets to the level of lucid calm, it's not aware of all of that. All it knows is that what it's experiencing is the same as in the books. Is not the same as in the books. If a student of the text grasps on tightly to his knowledge when he enters states of lucid calm and likes to keep noting, what's this? Is this the first absorption yet? His mind will simply make a complete retreat from the calm, and he'll get nothing from it. Why? Because he wants something. The moment there's craving to realize something, the mind pulls back from the lucid calm. That's why you've got to know That's why you've got to throw away all your thoughts and doubts and take only your body, speech, and mind into the practice. Look inwardly at states of mind, but don't drag your scriptures in there with you. It's not the place for them. If you insist on it, then everything will go down the drain, because nothing in the books is the same as it is in the experience. It's precisely because of this attachment to the book knowledge that people who study a lot, who know a lot, tend to be unsuccessful in meditation. No ideas of gain. Meditators were constantly reminded that they had embarked on a practice of renunciation and letting go. Seeking visions or psychic powers through meditation was to miss the point altogether. If a craving to gain or to attain something took root in the meditator's mind, then they had entered upon a path without ultimate resolution. The desire to realize some special experience might lead on to a new elevated realms of existence, but not to liberation. Seeking rebirth in refined states of consciousness was like a bird flying deliberately into a gilded cage. At the beginning of practice, the best motto was to be cool, steady, and patient. Unwise gaining ideas at this stage could lead to meditators giving up altogether. Sometimes in meditation practice, people make determinations that are too extreme. They light incense, bow, and make a vow. As long as this incense has not burned down, then I will not move from my sitting posture under any circumstances. Whenever I fall unconscious or die, whatever happens, I'll die right here. As soon as they've made the solemn declaration, they start to meditate, and then, within moments, the Maras attack them from all sides. They open their eyes to glance at the incense sticks. Oh no, there's still loads left. They grit their teeth and start again. Their minds are hot and bothered and in a turmoil. They're at their end's wit. They've had enough, and they look at the incense sticks again. Surely they must be at the end. Oh no, not even halfway. This happens 3 or 4 times, and then they give up. They sit and blame themselves for being hopeless. Oh, why am I such an idiot? It's so humiliating, and so on. They sit there suffering about being insincere and bad, all kinds of things until their minds are in an utter mess, and then the hindrances arise. If this kind of effort doesn't lead to ill will towards others, it leads to ill will towards yourself. Why? Because of craving. In fact, you don't have to take resolutions that far. You don't have to make the resolution to tie yourself up like that. Just make the resolution to let go. Progress in meditation is, for the most part, incremental, the gradually increasing dampness of a walker's coat in fog, as one Japanese master put it, rather than its obvious drenching by rain. But there can also be periods of great intensity. At such times, desire for clear validation of their efforts leads many meditators to give an exaggerated importance to unusual meditative experiences that they occur. The intense feeling of rapture that often accompanies such experience seem to confirm their significance. Longpo's insistent that all experiences are ultimately of the same value, being equally liable to cause suffering to one who delights in them, was hard to grasp for meditators anxious to believe that all their work they have done was finally bearing fruit. If they did experience a notable shift in their practice, it could easily lead to new forms of conceit. Don't stick your nose up in the air on account of your practice. Don't make too much out of your experience. Let things peacefully follow their course. Don't get ambitious. There's no need to crave, to get, or to become anything at all. On one occasion, a monk came to ask Longpo, why is that despite putting great effort into his meditation, he had still never seen the lights and colors that others claimed to see? Longpo replied, "See light? What do you want to see light for? What good do you think that it would do? If you want to see light, go and look at the fluorescent lamp. That's what light looks like." After the laughter had died down, he continued, "The majority of meditators are like that. They want to see light and colors. They want to see deities, heaven and hell realms, all those kinds of things. Don't get caught up with that stuff." Okay, so I'll leave it there. So very direct advice, instructions on meditation. Not to see lights is not the point. Yeah, because you can laugh about it, but that's what some people really want to see these deities and whatnot, and it's really a hindrance. So it's to be taken seriously. These sort of phenomena that we may experience. As it's been said, don't give them too much significance. And use the wisdom and panya, and to see that they're impermanent, whatever that is arises. That's the sort of main gist, basically. So we can use this time and, watch the mind, understand how it's working, the hindrances and all the sort of phenomena. It just rises and passes away. You don't have to overcomplicate the practice. So I'll leave you with these words. Arahang Sama Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivademi Swagato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami Supatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Saṅgho Saṅghang Namami.
प्रत्येक भिक्षु संघ को 3 बार नमन। प्रथम नमन, द्वितीय नमन, तृतीय नमन। धन्यवाद बलदेव।
Okay, sadhu, sadhu, good evening, and 5:30 tomorrow.
धन्यवाद।